Hi guys, Dr. Wendy Dearborne here from You and the Laws of Attraction. And that's definitely you and the laws of attraction. So guys, welcome to the show. Give yourself a nice round of applause. Welcome. I am so glad that you are here and that you're able to be with me today. Well, today's episode on You and the Laws of Attraction is all about the actual laws of attraction. I've been saying for the last, I don't know, where are we? We are already 6 months into the year, believe it or not. But I've been saying for the last 6 months that I am going to do a podcast that actually speaks about the different laws. And I decided that this is something that I was going to do today. And I think I'm going to break this up into 3 or 4 parts, depending on how long. Because guys, really and truly, this is just literally me talking to you about the different universal laws and what they do. Now, before I go any further, let me just introduce myself once again. My name's Dr. Wendy Dearborne, and I didn't say already, but today is the 12th of June, and the hour is 10:45 a.m. in the morning. And that's the 12th of June, 2021. Can you believe we are halfway through the year 2021? It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Right. So, understanding the universal laws, understanding how they work, it's absolutely huge. My claim to fame is that I am a choice expert, and as a choice expert, I support you in getting clarity around the things that you say that you want. No, I do not, and let me repeat, I do not make choices for you. I support you in being able to identify within yourself the choices that you are wanting, so that you can begin the process of creating the life that you want to live. You see, guys, your life is built one choice at a time. And whether that choice is made under duress, whether it's made, if you will, in a relaxed way, however you have made your choice, you need to understand you have made your choice. And this is one of the hardest things that people, or I say the hardest, I was going to say challenge, but no, people find this very, very difficult. People feel that the situation that they allow to influence themselves is the choice. But the choice isn't about the influence. It's what you decide to do as a result of choosing to be influenced one way or another. Is it the red pill or the blue pill? Is it the green pill or the yellow pill? You get to choose. Each pill says it can do wonders for you. And so therefore, the influence is the wonder of what you want to experience. And based on what you want to experience, you make your choice. I know that I have said this ad nauseum, and I'm going to say it again. When I was coaching and talking with the women of Shade Tree, this was something that many women found totally abhorrent. They found it very difficult when I said to them that their choices had brought them to where they were in Shade Tree, which is a shelter for abused, displaced women, children, and pets. And people would be really angry. What do you mean? And it's not that I wasn't sensitive or even empathetic to what was going on. But I also understood that in order for their lives to change, they would have to make different choices. you make the same choice and the same thing is going to happen to you. And so therefore, guys, understanding the universal laws as I know them to be, and as I'm sharing them with you, is a start. Now, before I go any further, just know that every time I get to a certain point, and I'm like, okay, listen up, guys. All right. Every time I'm going to say something that I think is profound and important, and most of what I say, I believe is profound and important, I'm going to ring the bell. So here we go, guys. All right, guys. The name of the game is that you do your due diligence, right? You do your own due diligence. What I am sharing with you is literally my experience. Your experience has to be your experience. You can't live in my experience. You see, only one person can do that. And this is universal law that, you know, people don't talk about, the universal law of space. Only one person can live in my experience, and that's me. I can't live in your experience. So anything that I share with you on any of my podcasts, old and new, is vitally important to understand that it is my experience, and that you take from whatever I'm giving you, and you take it and you work out what your experience is. And if you think it's a lot of bunkum, then, hey, you know, you kick it to the curb. It's not for you. But you cannot live my experience. What you can do is hear my words and then go within. Again, I'm a huge believer. Meditation is key. It's free. You don't have to pay anybody for anything. Do you know something, guys? And I'm going to go off topic here ever slightly. But you don't have to, the things that you need in order for you to create the life that you want to live, they are free. Actually, I need to do a show on that. Your spiritual tools are free. I'm writing that down. Your spiritual tools are free. Yeah? Meditation, prayer, affirmation, visualization, imagination, you know, even down to a vision board, dream board, it's all free. So anyway, that being said, guys, it's vitally important to understand the rules of engagement when using the universal laws. Once again, welcome to the show. My name's Dr. Wendy Dearborne, and I will be your host for the next 60 minutes, actually for the next, I think, 50 minutes or so. And today we are talking about understanding manifestation. How about that? I would be very, very remiss in not starting out by saying this. To choose, whether you make a choice or you don't make a choice, in reality is a choice. So whatever you do, you are making a choice. Even if you choose no action, that in itself is a choice. In regard to the universal laws of attraction, everything you do is choice. Your life is built upon the choices that you have made. And depending upon your belief system, the choices that you made before you came into this existence. Your life is choice. When you look in the mirror, when you reflect upon your life, when you go down memory lane, when you forward project in regards to what it is that you want to experience, all of that is predicated on choice. Understanding the manifestation process there are a couple of things that you actually do need to know before I start just reading off the laws. There are a couple of things that you need to know. And the first thing that you need to know, or the first thing that it's imperative that you actually try to understand, is that there's a process for manifesting. There's a process for manifesting. And it's simple. You need to know what you want so the universal creator can align you with it. It's as simple as that. You don't actually get to create anything, if the truth be known. You just get to be aligned with it. This is very important. And I say that based on the fact that everything that has been created and that needs to be created and that you want is already created, because it's already a wanting. So it's there. So it's about aligning yourself with that wanting. Everything that has ever been created, everything that you ever want has already been created. You see, energy moves into form and out of form. It doesn't create new energy. You want a car or a house, a home, a husband, a wife, dog, cat, whatever it is, Kate Spade bag, whatever it is, all right? Whatever you are wanting is already in creation. It just needs to move into form. And that is part of the alignment process. The thing that you desire moving into form. Everything is already there. It just moves into form. And so when I speak about creation, understand that I'm talking about things moving into form. So you need to know your role. You are the what and the creative process. You can call this God, universal spirit, universal consciousness. You can call it the universal creator, whatever makes you feel comfortable. You see, the universal laws and the laws, plural, of attraction isn't bound by the strictures of religion. Actually, it's not bound by anything. It transcends all of that. Because the universal laws are nature's laws. They're God's laws. They're immutable laws. They are unchangeable laws. They are the laws upon which everything that we know has been built upon these laws. Everything. And everything that we want is built upon these laws. So once again, know your role in this process. The other thing that I really, and guys, I it's like I can get on this little bonnet, I can get a bee in my bonnet about this. Yeah. We have been sold an erroneous bill of goods. We have been told that it's the universal law of attraction. But yet still, the universal law of attraction is part of the universal laws. And this, for me, as I've said umpteen times, this is where people have come up short because of their understanding in that regard. They have been taught that it is the law of attraction, and they don't understand why the law of attraction doesn't work for them consciously and every time. And it's because there's a whole other load of laws that people need to understand, that people need to be aware of, that people need to immerse themselves in, people need to invoke. So we've been taught that it's the law of attraction. Well, it's not. It's the laws, plural, of attraction. And so once again, guys, what I'm going to say to you is this. All right, listen up, guys. You take what I am saying to you, what I'm sharing with you today, what we are experiencing today, if it doesn't feel right to you, anything that I'm saying, then it's not right for you. My job isn't to make you. My purpose, and I'm living my purpose, doing what I'm doing now, believe me, I'm living my purpose. My near-death experience told me what my purpose is. It showed me point blank what my purpose is. So, if it doesn't feel right to you, then kick it to the curb. If it does feel right to you, then what I am asking you to do, and I really am asking you to do this. Ask yourself, for me, Olivia, Kathy, Dee, Billy Bob, whoever, for me, what does this mean for me? Not what Wendy wants it to mean, but what does this mean for me? So that it is your stamp, so you can take it and flow with it. Once again, it's the universal laws, plural, and not the universal law of attraction. The universal law of attraction is part of the universal laws. And as I'm going to go through this alphabetically, with the exception of choice. Choice has to come first, and of course it's a C. So alphabetically, I'm only going to be out of alignment with the universal law of choice. So, okay, guys, let us get started with the laws. The universal law of choice. The universal law of choice is also known as the universal law of free will. And you've heard me say this again on umpteen shows. The universal law of choice and or free will is a binding and irrevocable contract that you have made with the universe that initiates all that we do and all that we experience in life. The contract is simple. Whatever we do or don't do is a choice. Are you hearing me, guys? Whatever we do, whatever we don't do, whatever you do, whatever you don't do is a choice. The universal law of choice and or free will is a contractual agreement that states you, we, me. By our choices, we are bound by ownership, responsibility, and accountability for all that we do and or don't do. And what this literally means is you cannot blame anybody for anything that has gone on in your life. No matter how heinous, no matter how horrible, no matter how wonderful, no matter how delightful, you cannot lay that at anybody's feet. Because the choice has been yours. Many people equate the ability to lay something at somebody's feet with life and death. Many people equate the fact that this can impact your ability to continue living in this plane with laying something at somebody's feet. Well, even then that doesn't work, guys. And this I know from experience. And once again, it is my experience. This I know from a near-death experience. You can't lay blame for what you have done and haven't done at somebody else's feet. You can't. Even if somebody is holding you and holding a gun to your head, you still get to choose. Pull the trigger and do what you do best. Because I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to make a choice. Because you're going to make a choice. And our two choices may not come together. And I know that sounds extreme. But it happens to be. an irrefutable fact. So like I said, I have just flipped that a little bit because, of course, I'm going to start with the A's. And let me just tell you this, guys. Much of the universal laws that I have received, it has come to me through meditation. Meditation is huge. I'm like, ooh, meditation is huge. So let's start with the universal law of abundance. The universal law of abundance invokes the physical side of your mental/visual state of being. The law simply states you can have as much, we're talking about abundance here, you can have as much or as little as you want. Okay? Sometimes abundance is erroneously grouped with success. The universal law of success isn't about abundance. Although abundance can support that and success can support that. But many people will look at abundance and success as the same thing, and it's not. You can see truthfully why it might be the case, why people will view success and or failure as abundance and or not having it. You can see why people do that. But the universal law of abundance simply states you can have as much as you want or as little as you want. And what that actually tells you is that there is enough out there, not only for you, but for everyone. Nobody has to go without. Absolutely nobody. That's not the way that this was structured. That's not the way that this was structured. So let me just say this, as I mentioned success, and I can see already I'm going down a rabbit hole. I'm just doing my thing here. All right, guys. So let me just do this, right? The universal law of success. Right? Way off course. I'm on A's and all of a sudden I've jumped to S. But the universal law of success means that you've achieved your desired goal as you have seen it in your visualization. Once again, don't confuse the two, abundance and success. They have totally different functions. You see, guys, when you confuse the two, what happens is the actual process of things coming into form, like energy moving into form, is distorted because you're coming from a different place. And if you're coming from success, okay, a point of view of success, then you might not invoke the law of abundance. And that might mean your success might be a narrow straight, which for people, this has happened. Okay, let me put it this way. Let me, as it's coming to me, let me put it this way. You can be successful, but if you don't stay on that narrow course, all the things that you consider to be abundant, the money, the house, the car, the this, the da, it will all dissipate or you'll lose it. That's because you are looking at the universal law of success in the way that you should be looking at abundance. Once again, guys, they're not the same, so do not confuse the two. Alrighty, that was abundance, okay? The universal law of acceptance. Guys. Let me just say this, right? The universal laws tend to be really black and white. And that's because they truly do come from a place of poles. You've got the polar opposites. But they have a tendency to be black and white. But where you actually find your success with using the universal laws is finding the center point. Anybody who has worked in construction and or done gymnastics or things like this, understand the center point. You can carry a piece of piping that is, 60 feet in length. If you find the center point, you will be able to pick it up and carry it. Okay. So I'm saying this, we are on the universal law of acceptance. We're still on the A's, believe it or not. The universal law of acceptance simply states that you either embrace a fact and move forward with it, or you reject a fact and move forward without it. This is acceptance. And this is something that we truly need to practice in life. You see, we talk about letting go. And this is something that I use in my meditation and prayer, letting go. But perhaps I need to actually use the word acceptance and rejection. So the universal law of success, let's see where my brain's at. The universal law of acceptance simply states that you either embrace a fact and move forward with it, or you reject a fact and move forward without it. It is actually the underpinning for you saying yes or no. So the universal law of acceptance is actually yes or no. Either way, whatever you choose to do in life, either way, yes or no, you're going to be moving forward. So in reality, the universal law of acceptance is always in play. If you reject a fact, you are accepting that you are rejecting this fact and you're going to move forward without it. If you accept a fact, you are acknowledging that you are accepting this fact and you're going to move forward with it. But whatever you do, you are actually practicing the universal law, or I say practicing, guys, forgive me. You are invoking the universal law of acceptance. Okay, so guys, remember when I said the universal law of choice, which is the foundation of everything. When you look in the mirror, you see all your choices. So remember, the contract is simple. Whatever you do or don't do is a choice. Yeah? Whatever you say yes or no to is acceptance. And you will move forward in life. And you'll move forward in life whether you want to or not. You can go kicking, screaming, you'll be dragged along. And my thing is, because you are always moving forward, we never move backwards. We don't go backwards in life. So because we are ever moving forward in life, my thing is, why not move forward in a way that is in a way that is palatable to you, in a way that is helpful to you for the most part. Okay, guys, hopefully that's all right. And of course, if you guys, if you have any questions, of course, you can get to me on social media. You know, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, YouTube when I'm filming, and of course, let's see, Facebook, Instagram, yeah, those are it. And of course, my email, drwendyD@gmail.com. You can get to me there if you have questions. And the other thing is, one of the things I do is if people do have questions and more than one person asks me a question, I will usually answer in a audio message. Okay, guys, let's go to the next law. Woo! The law of action. You know, everything that we do actually has action attached to it. In the same way, everything that we do has acceptance. Everything that we do, of course, is a choice. Whether we choose to believe and or not that abundance is part of that process, that actually is a choice. But the law of action, and this is the universal law of action, is the only thing that can bring your life to your request to life. Only action brings that which you have asked for, that which you are aligning yourself with, to life. Anything else is just knowledge. Knowledge without action is just that. It's knowledge. It's like a book sitting on the shelf. It's just a book. The book actually comes to life when you open it and you start reading it. If you don't open the book, it's just going to sit on the shelf. Now, action doesn't always constitute you getting up and okay, all right, I'll go with a business thing. You are wanting to get more clients. Okay. Many people will tell you that you need to start, beating the pavement. You need to start beating the trees. You need to do all of that. Okay. Well, that in itself is action. Action is also finding clarity around what it is that you truly do want. What do you want those clients to do? Well, I want them to buy product. Okay. Action can be, what does that actually look like to you? What is the scenario like for you? How do you see this going down? What does it look like? Action is as much an inner working as it is an external physical thing. So the law of action isn't only about the physicality of things. It's also about the mental action that you take within the confines of your mind. And that's really important. The universal law of action is also about meditating. It's also about the action of self-talk. It's about the action of using your imagination. It's about the action of using your visualization. It's the action of forgiving yourself. Without action, nothing comes to life. It just is. As I said, it's just like the book sitting on the bookshelf. It's just knowledge. I have the knowledge that the book's there. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Without action, it's just knowledge. And faith actually ties into that. Faith and the ability to have faith, the universal law of faith. And there definitely is such a thing. But I'm not going to get off topic. Because I'm right where I want to be. Because usually I start with this one. And then I get all off on topic and all of that jazz. But okay, guys. We are now going to look at the universal law of attraction. Okay. The universal law of attraction is an organizational binding force. Okay. It is an organizational binding force. The function of this law is to bind together other laws that actually create an intentional stream of consciousness that transmits to the point of creation to aid in the manifestation of that which you have chosen to experience. The law of attraction works in tandem with the law of magnetism, and many people will talk about the law of attraction being it's a magnet. No, that's the law of magnetism. That's a whole different ball game. The law of attraction is literally an organizational binding force. Because, guys, the universe, God's universe, your universe is in divine order. There's an order. There's an order in the way in which things appear. And I know I'd said this before, and I've said this, and people say, oh, well, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, what can lay the egg? What can sit on the egg? What can incubate the egg? The chicken. And so people will say, well, how did the chicken get there? That ain't my business. That's not my business. Like I said, I need to know what it is that I want and allow the universe, allow the universal creator to do the how And I'm saying that because I don't know the answer to that question really, which is why I'm saying that. But that being said, there really is an organizational binding force. And when I say organizational, literally there is the divine law of order. Everything, there's an order to everything that happens. And this law, the universal law of attraction, it binds together. It's like a bundle, you know, if you got cable TV or what have you, or it's like a bundle. It bundles everything together so that an intentional stream, and when I say an intentional stream, you have named and claimed this thing that you want. So this intentional stream creates a consciousness that is transmitted to the point of creation. And as I said to you earlier, the point of creation is where you let go and you allow God or whomever your chosen deity is, the God within, the goddess within, you know, whomever your chosen deity is, because I'm an equal opportunist. So you allow whoever your chosen deity is to move that energy into form to aid in you being aligned with the thing that you want so it can manifest in your life. It can manifest in your life. So once again, guys, the universal law of attraction isn't, you know, what it's been purported to do or what it's been purported to be. It's an organizational binding force, and the function is to bind together other laws that will create your intentional stream of consciousness and transport it to the point of creation, the point where things move into form and things move out of form. This aids in the tangible, the physical manifestation of the thing that you want. Even if you're looking for peace of mind, this too is a tangible experience that you'll have. So I call it physical. So, okay, guys, I hope that in itself has been helpful. So I think we have finally got to the B's, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yes, no, I'm not mistaken. The universal law of balance. This is a huge one. And this actually was given to me by my sister through meditation also. She got this law. And no one, it says, allow no one to tell you what your journey must reflect or what your reality is. Guys, when you allow people to dictate to you what your reality is, it will throw you off balance. So when you allow your wishes and your desires to be tainted by other people's thoughts and other people's feelings, then you give up your ability, your power. You give your power of attraction away. And you give it away, guys, because you are giving your energy to somebody else. You give it away because the organizational binding force that you need for what you want isn't truly your intentional stream of consciousness. So it's really important to create balance in your life, especially when we're talking about the ability to manifest. Nobody knows what your spiritual journey must encompass, nor the divine design of it, or how you should complete it. Balance is about you understanding that you must find your center point in all things. It's very, very, very important, guys. It's absolutely imperative. Don't let anybody tell you what it is that you must be doing and how you must live your life and what your purpose is. People will use your energy. Okay, if you're not using your energy to create what it is that you want in life, other people will use your energy to create theirs. when people know what, and this is why people gravitate to people who they feel are successful, because they can see that they are powered up on their own energy. And guys, I'm telling you, if you don't use your energy and you're hanging around them, they're going to use your energy to create their success. And it's not a happy feeling, because many people know and they feel that they've been used. So guys, create that balance in your life. Yeah? Okay. All right. The next one is belief. I want to say maybe 3 months ago, perhaps, I had an interesting conversation with somebody, and they said that they don't believe in belief. And I thought that was really interesting. No, I take that back. They don't believe you need to believe in something for it to manifest. And for me, that was a very interesting thought process. And again, it's not my thought process. So I honor, the person who said this. However, I'm curious as what do you put in that place? What do you put in place? Because if you don't have that knowing, well, let me read the law to you anyway before I go off on that tangent. The law of belief. This law invokes within you a knowing that your intrinsic truth is right for you, even in the face of what external factors may be showing you. In the face of external factors that might be showing you that something is wrong. Your belief is your intrinsic knowing. So I'm curious as to what the person that I was speaking to, what would you call it as a lump sum? What would you call your intrinsic knowing? Because your intrinsic knowing is your truth. And belief is actually not just the universal law of truth, which is part of that, but belief is knowing what is right for you. So anyway, guys, the universal law of belief, once again, this law invokes within you a knowing that your intrinsic truth is right for you. And that's the most important thing, that it's right for you. Even in the face of every external factor that may be showing you that you are wrong, why you're wrong, how you're wrong, and all of this jazz. Do you know, if many of the things that we have, whether it be the iPhone, plastic bottles, Velcro, all this sort of stuff, many of the things that we have today and that we actually take for granted have come about because somebody has exercised the universal law of belief. That in the face of everything, that in the face of every external factor, they knew intrinsically that their truth was right for them. The other thing that I just wanted to say here, guys, is simply this, and I'm going to ring the bell on this one. When you do what you believe is right for you, what it does for me, it allows me to be right and show up right for me. It gives me the permission to be myself. It gives me the permission to take that influence and use that influence in a positive way. In a positive way. Well, guys, we've come to the letter C, and I've already done the universal law of choice and or free will. And again, just so you know, it's a binding, irrevocable contract with the universe, with God, that initiates all that we do in life. So the next one is the universal law of command. Okay, babes. Okay, my darlings. I'm going to ring this again. Do you know something? I could lean on this bell. All day for this one. The universal law of command. This is when you consciously choose, and unconsciously choose, might I add, to use your spoken word to invoke the law of action. Also, the law of divine flow, the law of magnetism, and the law of imagination. But it's when you consciously choose to use your spoken word to invoke the universal law of action. Once again, the law of action, the universal law, the natural law, the spiritual law, however it comes down for you guys, okay? Only action brings your request to life. Anything else is just knowledge. Like that book sitting on the shelf, it's just knowledge. Until you crack that book open, then it becomes an action. Then what you're reading in those pages become alive. Even if you find it boring, it becomes alive. So guys, the universal law of command is about the use of your spoken word. Let me see if I can find this, because I actually want to say it correctly, because people are always telling me, Wendy, you didn't say that right, or you missed a bit. So while I look for this, I'm going to look for this so that I can read it off to you. I'm going to give you a little hiatus, guys. Go get something to drink. Inhale, exhale. Here we go. I'm going to look this up. Okay, what I was looking for, guys. Thank you, Dub Spirit. I love my reggae music. See that there? Me love my reggae music, you see. Nothing better than reggae music. Nothing better than that. Reggae music. Okay, what I was looking for was John 1. Of course, I knew where that was. John 1, chapter 1, verse 1. Okay. And I'm definitely King James down the line. There are many. Speaking of the word, I'm going to back up on this one, but let me just say this. King James Version, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Okay? If you go down to John 1 chapter verse 14, it will say the Word became flesh and was made his dwelling among us. Your word is your words are powerful. Your words are powerful. In Genesis 1, if you are biblical and scripture inclined, it says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." And God created the heavens and the earth through the spoken word. Okay? Through the spoken word. It says, now the earth was formless, or the earth was a formless void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." God said, "Let day and night be parted." And I'm paraphrasing here. And you got day and you got night. You got light and you got dark. All of this was done by the power of the spoken word. I'm going to lean on the bell. I didn't have it turned up, but I'm going to lean on the bell. Sorry, guys, I didn't have it turned up, but I'm going to lean on the bell here. This is a whole show, and I've done a show, or we have done a show on the power of your spoken word. Everything that happens in your life happens because of the words that you speak. And that's bottom line. That in itself is powerful stuff. Understanding that the words that you choose to speak, and this is self-talk as well as speaking, expressing audibly or expressing aloud to other people. The words that you speak, the words that you write, the words that you think, these words invoke the law of command. And when you command something to be done, it's going to be done. Right, wrong, or indifferent. When you look in a mirror, you are your word made manifest. So when you look in the mirror, now you're going to start seeing a whole group of things. You're going to see your choices, which your choices are your word made manifest. You are your word. Your word is your bond. You can't get away from it. This is why with your choices, you own them. You own them. This is why with your choices, you are bound to them. This is with your choice, why your choices, you are responsible for them. This is why you have the ultimate accountability for them. And your ultimate accountability is what you experience. The law of command is huge. And once again, this is when you consciously, and I'm telling you guys, unconsciously choose the spoken word to invoke the law of action. It also invokes the law of divine flow. We're going to get there. The law of magnetism and the law of imagination. That's how powerful the law of command is. You know how powerful you are? You have talked yourself into good health or bad health. You have talked yourself into lack and limitation or abundance and prosperity. You have talked yourself into happiness or unhappiness. You've talked yourself into gladness or sadness. Guys, look, the law of command also, am I going to do this today? Yeah. The law of command also illustrates for you the universal law of polarity or poles. In life, you've got the two extremes, guys. You always will. It's about balance, finding that center point, not letting anybody tell you what you must do or how your journey must be. The universal laws have the polar opposites, life as it unfolds has the polar opposites. Wet, dry, hot, cold, happy, happy, sad, day, night. In love, out of love. Hate, like, forgiveness, unforgiveness. It's about the opposites and you finding that center point. It's about you finding the center point. So anyway, the universal law of command, guys, use your words wisely. Use that inner self-talk, use that wisely, because this will dictate to your subconscious self what it is that you are going to speak into existence. Okay? That one is huge. All the laws are huge. All the laws are huge. Okay, the next one, we're still in C. And the universal law of, here we go, of center point. And as I said to you guys before, the universal law of center or center point literally speaks to you being able to find the middle ground so that you will be able to move through life or to manifest that which you say that you want. In order to find the center point, you literally, it has to do with gravity actually, but in order for you to find the center point for your life and with what's going on for you and around you, it's important that you go within. It's important that you go within. You have the external and the internal. Finding that internal literally means, or finding that center point literally means, you take the feelings from the external and the feelings from the internal, and you go into meditation and you ask the question, or you ask your questions as, what is this? Show me what it is. Blah, 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 blah. You go in and you have that kind of conversation with self. But the universal law of center point is really important because, guys, at the end of the day, if you don't find the center point, you're either going to be more inclined to hatred and bigotry than acceptance and love. Okay? You're going to be more inclined to practice lack and limitation instead of prosperity and abundance. You're going to be more inclined to move towards failure than success. So you're going to be more inclined to move to success than failure. And of course, if you go too far in the direction of success, you can become maniacal with it. And that has a whole group of problems by itself. So finding the center point so that you can move through life, and I like to think of it as gliding through life, is really important. Well, guys, we have time for one more. And so I'm going to need to keep my eye on the prize here because we're coming up to the hour. And we still are on the season. I'm talking about the universal law of consciousness. As our internal and external consciousness expands, our awareness of opportunities and possibilities become cognizant. Consciousness is about not just having an awareness. It's about the expansion of that awareness and the recognition that with awareness always comes opportunities and possibilities. They always become cognizant to us. So again, it's not just being conscious and consciously aware. It's about the internal and external expansion of ourselves and recognizing that within that there are always opportunities and possibilities. Well, guys, that is part 1. And as you can see, I'm only through the C's. So I would imagine that there are going to be many more parts too, to understand the universal laws of attraction as they have come to me through meditation. So I want to thank you for listening. I hope, guys, you are doing well. Be sure, and I really mean this, be sure to check in with self. Meditation is a powerful tool. It's free. Utilize it. Utilize it so that you can begin to consciously create the life that you want to live, to do the things that you want to do, recognizing that acceptance, whether you choose to accept something or not, your life is moving forward. Whether you choose to do something or not, whether you say yes or no, it's a choice. Recognizing that all the things that we have spoken about are vitally important. I'm Dr. Wendy Dearborne. I'll catch you the next time with another episode of You and the Laws of Attraction. Until next time, guys, peace!